This is one of the simplest but most delicious Parmesan risottos you'll make. It uses classic technique for an amazing texture and the peas add a great pop of freshness, but you can add whatever vegetables you like best. The base of most great risottos is some finely chopped shallot or onion, so peel and remove the skin before chopping one shallot or a third of a yellow onion. The only other thing to prep is grating a half cup of Parmesan cheese plus a little extra for topping at the end. On medium-low heat, add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil to a medium-sized pan, ideally with a heavy bottom. Drop in the shallots and toss them around with the oil. Then add a big pinch of salt, which will help them cook faster and start flavoring the dish. Once the shallots are cooked, add 3/4 cup of arborio rice, which is one of the typical varieties of short grain rice used to make risotto. During this step, we are toasting the rice slightly for 1 to 2 minutes. This is important to seal the outside layer of each grain, which will prevent the risotto from becoming soft and mushy at the very end. When the rice grain is translucent around the outside and has a white dot in the middle, it's good to go. Now we are deglazing the pan with a glass of wine. Pretty much any white wine will work, but popular choices are Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio. This will add some nice acidity and sweetness to the risotto. Turn the heat up to medium so the wine can simmer and cook off the alcohol. Once most of the wine is all gone, we can start adding the liquid. For this recipe, I like using just salted water so it doesn't overpower the flavor of the Parmesan and peas. But most often, vegetable or chicken stock would be used for risotto. This pot has 8 cups of water and 1 teaspoon of salt. We won't be using all of the water, but that ratio of salt to water I find works well. No matter which liquid you're using, the most important part is that it's already heated up in another pan, because if you added cold liquid to the risotto, it would drastically decrease the temperature of the pan and hinder the cooking process. We want to add about 1 cup or a couple ladlefuls of liquid at a time in a few different stages. You never want the risotto to simmer rapidly, so always keep the heat between low and medium-low. Mix it around and then let it simmer until most of the liquid has been absorbed by the rice, at which point you can add more water. I ended up doing 4 total rounds of adding water, which used 3.5 to 4 cups. After adding your first ladle, the entire process shouldn't take longer than about 15 to 17 minutes, but it's critical that you don't overcook the rice. Just like pasta, you want risotto to be al dente. So after the 3rd round of liquid has been added, I start tasting the rice until I like the doneness. When you get towards the end of the cooking process, you can start tossing the rice in the pan to help thicken the risotto. When you toss or mix it quickly, the grains of rice will come in contact with each other, releasing their starches, which is what helps to create a creamy texture. Once the risotto is cooked, but still has some bite to it, make sure the heat is on low and stir in a half cup of frozen peas. I like adding the peas at the end so they are just warmed through, which will keep their bright green color and add a nice pop of freshness to the dish. Then toss in 2 tablespoons of butter cut into small cubes. Mix that very well, and once most of the butter is incorporated, you can turn the heat off and add the half cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Once again, you want to mix and toss the rice vigorously to cream the risotto, ensuring the cheese is well distributed and becomes fairly saucy. In Italian, this process of mixing in the butter and cheese is called mantecare, which actually comes from the Spanish word for butter, but loosely translates to mix until creamy. You want the risotto to be fairly thick, but the rice should still flow in the pan nicely. To serve, add a couple spoonfuls to the center of a plate and tap the bottom to distribute it evenly. You'll know you got the right consistency if it easily disperses in a circle to the edges of the plate. I like to finish this one with another dusting of Parmesan cheese and some freshly grated lemon zest before enjoying. This recipe will give you a delicious risotto with a fantastic texture and is the perfect first course to any meal. Please share your thoughts in the comments or if you plan on trying this one out. Thank you for watching.